Good afternoon, world. It is straight up on the dial, 12 o'clock noon here in Waxahachie, Texas, deep in the heart of Lone Star State. Lone Star State was prominent on last night's news on the big senatorial primary election. Today is the 28th of May, episode number 145 of Grit and Good News. And I'm your co-host, Jeff Lynch, capably, willingly, ably, enthusiastically manning the board is our man Sammy Brooks. And to my right, resplendent. He thinks it's Halloween in May. Scott Brooks.
This is my
This is your dirty block.
peach
Peach.
look, I guess. Yeah.
Peach.
Um,
I'll give you a peach.
yeah. Peach sounds good about right now. So is a watermelon.
Oh
That's
yeah.
me. Hi everyone. Thank you for being here today. Sorry we missed you on Tuesday due to some family matters that I won't bore you with details. Hey Terry, welcome, bud. Uh, I had to miss Tuesday, so we just shut her down for the day and allow me to help my precious wife tend to whatever needed to be tended to. Although I really don't do much, you know. It's
Hey,
amazing
you
how
know
much
what?
work our wives do. I mean, I'm always there to do what I'm told and can help, but my wife, as she told me last night, she said over the 48 hours because of this, that past 48 hours because of this medical thing that we're dealing with one of our family members, that she was in the hospital with her for 24 hours,
Yeah.
not straight, but come home and sleep a couple hours, go back. It's just crazy.
And don't diminish the value of moral support.
Yeah, I mean, it's important. So, our wives need to be treated as queens in our family, and we try to do that. So,
Yes, and I was remiss in my opening discussion of dates to not mention that today is my lovely wife's birthday.
wow.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Rita. Hope you're feeling better. So thank you for being here. We are back on schedule now. It is a Thursday, the last Thursday of the month of May, which is, most people will say, can you believe how fast time's flying? And I swear as we get older, it flies faster. We were talking about Maggie, our dog we lost in what seems like just 2 weeks ago, but it was almost 2 years ago. It's just incredible how it flies. But thank you for being here. We appreciate your support, your interest, and your involvement. We have a lot to talk about. As usual, we start with our uh, episode number, which is 145. As Jeff just told you, Sammy goes out and finds athletes across the four major sports that wore, in this case, 45, because we're pretty certain nobody wore 145. So, Sammy, tell us who wore 45
For
in
the
football.
NFL, yep.
45, and that's another weird number. I just, it's a fullback number, really, if you ask me.
Well, I got a lot of defense, I think.
Well, okay,
We
let's hear
got
it.
we got Emlyn Tunnel, played in the
Yeah.
1950s. Kenny Easley for the Seahawks,
Okay, yeah.
safety. Gary Fensick for
Yeah.
the
There,
Bears.
yeah, he was a stud.
Dave Grayson for the Chiefs. Curtis Johnson for the Dolphins, and Manny Hendricks for the Cowboys.
Yeah.
That's just not a list of superstars.
Yeah, it's,
Nope.
I know some of them, but not all of them. All right,
Yeah.
what about baseball, right?
NBA.
NBA, 45. NBA, 45. Oh, Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah.
That's the only one I know,
That's the
which
only
is a
one I
weird
know.
number.
It is a weird number.
I don't, yeah.
Chuck Person and AC Green wore it.
You know where certain person went to college?
Uh-uh.
Auburn.
Ugh. That's it for basketball. Not a
Okay.
lot.
Baseball,
Baseball.
45 again. It's a kind of a pitcher's number in a way,
Yeah.
maybe. But I don't know.
I think I got some pictures on here.
Hey Tammy, welcome.
We got Bob Gibson for the
Oh yeah,
Cardinals.
duh.
We got Pedro Martinez.
Oh duh.
Steve Rogers played for the Expos.
Yeah, I don't know.
John Candelaria,
Very good. Same plays the Pirates.
Candyman.
Yeah.
Candyman.
And then Tug McGraw.
McGraw, you know who that is? Tim
No.
McGraw's dad.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Little left-hander.
Wow.
For the Phillies.
That's cool.
All right, and then hockey, it's got to be. Well, no, do one of the Hughes boys wear? No, they're
No.
43 and 46.
Yeah.
When I rolled through a list of 159, I wasn't finding anybody significant. And then they had the years that they played 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, a
Oh
couple of
yeah.
them 5.
Yeah.
What do you got?
I got Sammy Vetanen
Okay.
for the
Nobody.
Ducks, Aaron Asham,
No, nobody.
Jonathan Bernier
Nobody.
for maybe he's a goalie, Jody Shelley,
Nobody.
and then Zach Cassian.
Nobody.
Yeah.
Nobody.
That's just a weird number. We're going to have that 46, 47, 48, 49,
We're gonna have it
50
for a
for a
while
while. Yeah.
You know,
Oh, well.
the odd thing, hockey,
until we hit 77.
the primest numbers for forwards are 7, 8, and 9, and a lot of times you'll see a guy take a derivative of that.
Yeah.
44,
Yeah.
but you know, even at that, 45 makes a nice 9, and you just don't see them.
Yeah, it is. It's weird. By the way, Sammy, what's your favorite number?
My favorite number is 5.
Jeffrey, do you have a favorite number?
5 or 55.
Mine is 14.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, cool. All right, so there
5
you have
or
it on the numbers. NBA, we got a big game tonight. We got the Oklahoma City Thunder, up 3-2, going to San Antonio to play Wimby. And they're fighting for everything. It's win or go home,
Mhm.
right? And so if they win, they play game 7, I assume would be on Saturday or Sunday.
It'll be Saturday.
So the Knicks are just sitting there waiting.
Yeah, that's gonna be I'm excited. It's gonna be a good finals, I think.
It's
I heard
interesting.
President Trump is going to be attending.
He wants
that
to go to
game.
one of the games. Yeah,
Well, he's
one
been
of the.
invited by the owner of the team,
Yeah,
who has been a big donor and is a member of Mar-a-Lago.
yeah.
And so
You just imagine though. I've worked in D.C. and I've been in other places where the president comes to town. Terry's number 12. I like that number. Tammy, do you have a favorite number? But you know what it does to a city when a president comes to town with the traffic
it
and all that.
energizes it.
And Sammy, you didn't when you went to New York, did you walk by Madison Square Garden or see it, or you were
We
in it?
went to a game. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So imagine that area being managed for Trump to appear at the game. Now I'm assuming he would fly in and well, I shouldn't assume that, but it would seem like he would fly in by helicopter or something. I
Yeah,
don't
New
know
York
how
is
we get there.
already those fans are like I wouldn't go anywhere near like,
Yeah, but
New
it'd
York.
just be interesting to see how they get him into the Tammy's number 31. Anyway, he'll
Goalie.
be there. I think it's gonna be a great series, regardless of who they play. And then you got on the hockey side, they're kind of mirroring each other, where one team in the NBA is done, that being the Knicks, and they're just twiddling their thumbs till their opponent shows up. Same thing in hockey.
Yeah, the other night, Rita's son Dusty, who's a great sports guy, he knows it back and forth. He knows his hoops as well as you do, and I had just seen on my phone that the Thunder was down 20. It was the game before where they lost by 21, I think.
Yeah, it was a blowout.
And I said, Dusty, what's up with this? He goes, they know they can win all 4 at home. They don't care about this game. And he said, were they not playing all the guys all the way or any of that?
I don't remember. I know Shea didn't play,
Okay.
fourth quarter at all.
And so then it turns out that they win the next game.
Yeah.
And, Dusty the prophet.
Yeah, no, that's good. They're pretty certain they're gonna win in Oklahoma.
Except like the Knicks, you say, well, at least we got some rest and are able to recoup. They swept.
Yeah.
Too quick.
I guess if you're gonna go to games, if you know you're gonna end up, it looks like you're gonna go 6 or 7 games. I can see where you just focus on the games at home. But we'll see tonight. I mean, they both won at the other places.
At least
Floor.
once.
Yeah. So we'll see. But on the hockey, you got the same thing. You got the Vegas Knights, who are now able to sit back and relax, while the Carolina Panthers just keep busting up Montreal. But they got, I mean, Montreal laid an egg at home last night, 4-0. How do you do that? And so
I'll tell you what happened. I was watching it. I turned it off after the end of the first and started watching something on regular TV with Rita. And this game is 0-0 all through the first period.
yeah,
Even though Montreal's getting badly outshot, and then they get 3 goals. You're going to tip on that. 3 goals in the last 3 minutes.
it came
In
pretty
2.5
quick, and then it was
minutes.
over.
Yeah.
All right, so there you have it. We got the U.S. Open golf tournament coming, the 3rd of the 4 majors. So looking forward to getting into the pool again. For those of you that don't know, I did come in first in the 3-way tie for the pool for the PGA, major, which was PGA, which was a lot of fun. So we got the U.S. Open, and then the majors are over now in middle of July when it's the Open, not the British Open, but the Open. So we got a lot of stuff
it's
going
a
on.
major.
Yeah, it is a major.
Yeah.
But we have a lot of things, a lot of sports. My wife said to me the other night, Scott, how much more hockey do we have to watch? I'm like, it's almost over, honey. Just
See,
hang
honey,
on.
not have to.
Hang on.
Not have to. It's get to.
Have to. Yeah, for me, it's get to. Anyway, so there you have it. We got some Tarnations today. I got some doozies, and I'm just going to start with Tim Walz and George Floyd. All right. So Monday's Memorial Day, right?
Right.
We have the governor. We have the loser governor of what is becoming a loser state. At least Minneapolis, a loser city, in insofar as it's full of just everything is bad. It seems.
It's so good that even though it's a twin city, that St. Paul is the capital. That's all I can
St.
say.
Paul is a better place than
No doubt.
Minneapolis, obviously. But you have Tim. So it's, let me just set this up. It's Memorial Day, where we honor those who gave their life for America, for this country, voluntarily. It's Memorial Day. It's a beautiful day, I think, in most parts of the country. It's a day most people have off, and we can enjoy friends, family, whatever we do. But it's all really to honor those who've given their lives. Uh, and so, what does the governor of Minnesota do? At the scheduled parade or whatever activities are going on for Memorial Day, that dope doesn't, he decides not to participate or show up. But he does show up to participate in the George Floyd Memorial in George Floyd Square in Minneapolis. Now, I don't care, obviously, we don't care what color, gender, ethnicity, where he's from, we don't care anything about that with respect to George Floyd. What we do care about, or at least I'll say I care about, is that despite me believing, as I wrote at the time, that George Floyd was unnecessarily killed. Now, I think he contributed to that by what he had in his system, factually. But no police officer, in my opinion, needed to put his knee on the back of a neck that somebody was in serious trouble. I'm talking about health trouble. Be that as it may, I don't believe George Floyd is worth any poster, any mural, any statue, any square, anything. And I don't. And because it was proven, again, through facts and through medical reports that he was on drugs. And so what does Tim Walz do? He shows up to celebrate George Floyd at the expense of not celebrating and recognizing those who fought for us and gave their lives.
Meanwhile, history will prove that Waltz did nothing, and that's why that city burned and burned and burned.
Yeah.
And if it didn't happen as severely as it did in Minneapolis, obviously that was the source of it. That'd be the one. We wouldn't have had that whole thing going across the whole country.
Right.
And it was all because of his sitting on his lard butt.
Yeah, I think Tim Walz is going to end up paying the price for all that he's done and not done. Sammy, you're going to love this, but I'm beginning to be with you on the SGA flops. He's nobody is as bad as LeBron James at flopping and being dramatic and all that. Curry is up there.
No, he's
Yes, he
not.
is, Sammy. Don't look. When I'm going to give
No,
you a
he
little
is
bit of credit,
not.
you better not take advantage of it.
So I saw something in the paper the other night, and so I went to look him up. Now I'm saying this: if you're 6'6" and 190, you're gonna get knocked down.
Yeah, but he gets knocked down when nobody
Right.
touches him.
Yeah.
And the NBA today is so full of crazy stuff that, crazy habits. Falling down is a big one. And some of them don't do it much. Some of them do it only when they're knocked down. But SGA and Steph Curry and LeBron, a puff of wind goes by and
Right.
it knocks them over. And SGA, although he's a great player, Sammy, you have to say that. The boy can shoot lights out. And if I had to choose Steph Curry or SGA all day long.
Oh, that it's falling down and falling down and foul baiting are two different things. Shai does it.
I agree.
Shai combines them.
I agree.
If you go watch 2016 Curry, that dude does not foul bait. He might fall down,
What do
but
you
he
think foul
does
baiting is? When
getting
you
up
don't get touched and you fall down, what do you call that? Just curious.
flopping.
Flopping.
Foul baiting.
No, foul baiting is when you bait somebody into a foul because you want to get free throws. That's what Shai does.
No, well, I'm
Well,
saying
that
bait.
sounds like a smart thing to do.
But it's not fun to watch.
No,
Well,
he's.
I didn't say
I
that.
mean, they've mastered it. But my point is, I'm giving you credit. You ought to say thank you, Dad.
No,
And number two is
you're not gonna
foul baiting
slander.
and flopping are the same thing.
No, they're not.
They are baiting somebody for a foul to be called.
Okay, here's what they need to do, just like the greatness of hockey. All kind of different minor penalties, hooking, tripping, all kinds of them, except it doesn't apply to like slashing and
Yeah.
cross checking. The ones that'll take you down. Okay. Sam Brooks, 2 minutes tripping. Scott Brooks, 2 minutes embellishment.
Yeah.
Okay.
They do
That's how
that.
you get
I mean,
it
they
to
have the
work.
flop rule in college and pro basketball. They just don't call it very much. And I have seen games in hockey where the embellishment penalty is called, that would stop it. That would stop if they're deemed to have fallen down by nothing other than their wish and desire to fall down. They ought to get a penalty.
Right.
In my opinion, ought to get a technical.
Ooh,
That'll stop.
You
ooh, you're
know,
down.
Yeah.
if that were to happen, I think Shai's points averages drop at least 12 points. He gets at least 15 points off of free throws every night.
Well, he's the MVP, 2-time MVP, consecutive years, and he's going to probably.
BlockStatueSun.com. Go read my column. I
Yeah.
will
So
talk about it.
Sammy's column is about what is it about?
Not that was
Oh
last
yeah,
week.
this
This
week's
week's
about the
about
Cowboys.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm trying to.
flop, stop.
Speaking of baiting and flopping, I'm trying to bait Sammy into writing his column, a column about that this year with the Cowboys I'm going to say it here. What is this? May 28th, 2026. I'm going to say this. I think, despite saying this for the past 40 something years, I'm going to say it this year with all meaning. I mean it. I'm genuine. I'm authentic. This is the year.
I hope so. I put my money where my mouth
Cool.
was again this year, and the only thing that scares me is they got a tough schedule. A tougher schedule than you should get when you're a 7-10 team. And they're on prime time six
Yeah,
times.
that's
Well,
annoying.
they went what 7-10 last year.
Yeah.
And then they were almost led the league in offense, 27 points a game.
Yeah.
But we have a better defense that gave
Right.
up
We were
30
the best,
points.
one of the best, if not in some categories, the best offensively, and
then
the worst defensively.
defensively.
So we've loaded up on defense now. So we'll see.
And I'm ready to see what is
Downs.
it? No, Downs and Overshone.
Yeah.
Overshone or whatever his name is.
So this is the year for me. This is the year when I say, I know I've said that the last 40 years. Put that away. I'm not crying. What is that, wolf anymore?
Yeah.
I think this is the year. So we'll see. And if not, then it's got to be Buffalo. All right. So speaking of football, Jackson Dart introduces the President of the United States the other day at a rally or an event. And no sooner than that's over than Abdul Carter, who was a number 1 or number 2 pick the year before from Penn State, gets on X, and he just can't just say that, just use proper grammar for God's sake. But he said, what did I say?
I thought this crap was
What we
AI.
doing, man?
What we doing?
Yeah, and so we got a linebacker who probably, and I'm not going to say it. I would assume, I think it's a fair assumption, that most of these athletes, particularly a guy like Abdul Carter, doesn't know jack about politics. Now, I could be wrong, but I'm guessing they know very little about politics. And so Abdul Carter is responding because his parents were Democrats or whatever forever. He doesn't have any idea why he dislikes Trump, other than some talking head goon told him to not like Trump. And so he comes out and publicly goes after Jackson Dart. Well, they've had their meetings and everything's kumbaya now and that sort of thing. But cue up Joy Behar, yeah. But it's a classic example of the media just fueling this. Now, we're here to say that's stupid. It's a waste of time. It's a tarnation. Let Jackson Dart introduce whoever he wants to. Let Abdul Carter introduce whoever he wants to. I don't. That's like me saying, that an employee has to believe a certain thing before they can work for us. That's discrimination. But the idea that Abdul would get after Jackson's crazy. Do you have it, Sam?
I have it, but I want to. Did you read Tammy's comment yet?
Foul baiting, intentionally provoking someone to foul you. Flopping is exaggerating and faking a foul. That's what I'm right.
That's different.
Intentionally provoking someone to fail,
Thank you, Tammy.
to foul or fail. I
She
think
means foul.
intentionally provoking someone to foul you. Flopping is exaggerating and faking a foul. So you're saying foul baiting is trying to get somebody to commit a legitimate foul? Okay, well then it's different.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. I don't know how you do that. What, stick your nose up in
No,
their face or
watch
something?
Shay. He pump fakes. The dude goes straight up, and Shay goes right into him.
The league allows that to happen.
I
You
don't.
get a guy off, you're a basketball player, you know that
Steph
you
Curry
get
never did
somebody
that.
off.
MVP Steph Curry never did that. You ready?
I'm going to take it back
We
in a
don't
minute.
use the words never or
I'm going to
ever. I
take
got
it
a whole
back.
poem about it.
We're going to open up Tuesday's show with Steph Curry's the biggest flopper and foul baiter in basketball history. Thank you, Tammy. All right, Sammy, let's take a look at this. You got Tammy all twisted up there, Tammy. All right, you ready, Sam? Listen to what Behar has to say about Jackson Dart and Abdul Carter.
That's the thing. But some people were not happy with Dart's open political endorsement. I mean, isn't he entitled to his?
It's America.
I mean,
he's entitled to his thing.
For somebody to back a guy like Trump, whose history in discrimination and racism goes back to housing discrimination.
In the 70s,
In the
yes.
70s, DEI attacks, and posting pictures of the Obamas as apes. When he's on a team that's 55% to 60%, the NFL is that many people, that much percentage of black people.
Yeah,
That is just the definition of stupidity and racist, in my opinion.
And the people on the field, having been on teams, the whole point is we're in this together, and it's kind of got that foxhole mentality of we're out there, we're playing together. To not, even if that is what you believe, which I let anyone, that's the beauty of America, it's the most liberal belief, that we can all have our own belief. I get that. But there would be consequences. You're the quarterback, which is a central player on that field.
The leader.
A leader, and the majority, it's actually 75% of the New York Giants and the NFL as a whole are black or non-white.
Yeah.
To not think about the most recent offenses from the 8 video to these voting rights things, which even people that aren't that dialed
That's
in are
enough.
recognizing, wait, are you now
So-
just going to...
You'll never hear me say this, but this one time, Whoopi's right. Obviously, it's his right to say what and support whom he believes he should and wants to.
Well,
I mean,
why are we even having a clip of the View though?
well, I know that was painful because I wanted the Giants. First of all, Abdul Carter, surely, in some level, understands that these players can be for whomever they want to be when it comes to politics,
Sure.
and that Jackson Dart can do whatever he wants to with his life. And if the two of them can resolve whatever issues were created by what Abdul Carter did, then that's all that needs to be done. What I'm saying is that's just what we just saw in The View is duplicated on other left-leaning shows,
Sure.
and so it stays all fueled up. And Whoopi, I don't know if she was drunk or something, but she got right. She was right, saying Jackson Dart's free to do what he wants to, just like Abdul Carter is. And if Abdul, look, if Obama, as much as I despise Obama, if Obama asked Abdul Carter to introduce him at a Chicago event or something, I'm guessing Abdul Carter is probably going to figure out a way to do it. Now I could be wrong about that, but that's my opinion. But for Behar, these people know so little about Donald Trump. Joy Behar's in her 80s. All right. By the way, she's about to take a hiatus. I've never watched that show other than clips like this. But there are people that are sitting in that studio that will clap no matter what these people say. And Joy Behar to just continue to call Donald Trump a racist and all this other stuff. She hasn't figured out that it's gotten old and that people are like, whatever anymore. It's the American public has become, even those on the left, it's become publicly, comfortably numb to them.
Comfortably
okay,
numb.
just
I
shut
like it.
up. So anyway, there you have that. Biden suing the DOJ. Why is he suing the DOJ? Because the DOJ is going to release remember back when he had the interview with Robert, I think his name is Robert Tur, the attorney, the Korean American what is he? I forget what he was. Uh, in the day, I think he might have been a special person, but involved with the DOJ, interviewed Biden.
Special prosecutor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he interviewed Biden and wanted to know about Biden's really memory, mental acuity, uh, cognitive dissonance, all that stuff, and it was taped. And so we've gotten at this point we've gotten some of the scripts or transcripts from it, but we've not heard it. And evidently, hearing it brings to light just how far Biden was gone mentally uh, while being president of the United States. So Biden is now suing the DOJ to stop from releasing it. I don't understand on what basis.
In last night on the news, the second leading article, and they pimped it before,
Yeah.
here's what's coming up. This is Jill Biden with her recollections of the debate.
Yeah.
And well, why is there not really any news tonight?
Yeah.
But did you hear what she said?
Yeah.
She
Thought he was
said,
having a stroke, right?
I thought he was having a stroke.
And remember, she said right after that, because it may have been a different interview, or a different segment, but right after they revealed that, they showed her and Biden when they left the debate. They went to another area, and she grabbed the mic and said, "Joe, you did so good. You answered every question, and you just took it to him. And what did Trump do?" And she looks at the crowd. He lied. He lied. He lied. Yet she all the while thought he was having a stroke. But yet, so for the public, said right after that, "Oh, you did great." It's just how sick these people have become. But the idea that you sue somebody to prevent a narrative, an actual factual, authentic narrative, an interview from coming out, really tells you what you need to know about just how conned the American public were. And so I'm eager for them to reject that lawsuit. I want to hear it. I really want to hear it because the interviewer, just basically said, remember what he said? He viewed Biden as a kind old man, that kind of thing. He was our president. Um, so we'll see what happens there. We talked. I think we talked briefly about this, but the other day, Jeff and I I had a column. Jeff had a poem about America's struggle, and I think this is really legitimate. But America's struggle with embracing far too much embracing of uh, empathy. So, which sounds so counter to the Christian message that we would say, is there a bridge too far for empathy? And if you just said that to the average person in any church, can you empathize too much? Most people would say no. I think they would say we are to empathize. We are to be compassionate people. Yet the claim here, or the study here, is showing that we become so empathetic in America that now anything goes, and we love on those who've done the worst deeds. We love on those who are in a self-inflicted way failing and mooching off of the government. I mean, so it's now led to all kinds of things. We have a guy that tries to assassinate uh, President Trump, who's apologized to by a judge. We have the guy who killed the uh, healthcare CEO back in 2024 in December. Remember, right before Christmas, on the streets of New York, just shot in the back from 20 feet away by this coward little punk named Luigi. We've now celebrated, many people have celebrated Luigi as being someone special because he killed a guy that supposedly was killing millions of people. And I could go down the list. So and even as I try to have better balance in my life, I still have to sometimes remind me that what this person did is wrong. and you face the consequences. You deal with it. We can all have empathy, but not when it gets to a point where we just excuse every behavior under the sun.
We had some of this conversation in one of our recent programs also,
Yeah.
and you said, well, what's the cause of it? And I said, categorically, I believe it's the parents,
Yeah, I think
and
it
and I still feel that strongly.
I think it gets it's all things like this happen in the home or in indoctrinated places like schools and colleges. The indoctrination rather than the education that kids get these days includes being overly sympathetic to those around us who are trying to I mean say that identify as a cat, by example. Why in the world would we be empathetic for somebody that's so mentally twisted as to identify as a cat? And that's not just a facetious thing. That's a true thing.
Yeah,
And so I think that kind of response, that kind of embracing of empathy
it's
comes from the
okay.
school.
You're the
Yeah.
cutest little cat I ever knew.
Yeah, he just poisoned 14 cats, throughout the neighborhood. But it's okay, Johnny. We know mom hurt you and dad hurt you. That's BS, in my opinion. The reason I bring this up is because if you want to know two guys, I'll tell you, that are a little bit older, but that are really, really wise, and they're quality people. One of them is Victor David Hanson. If you've never heard of him, you might just write down Victor David Hanson. They like to call him BDH. Brilliant, brilliant guy. I really enjoy listening to him. And then the other one, this is a funny name. I told Jeff about this earlier, but his name is Gad, Gad. His last name is Saad, Saad. So he's from the Middle Eastern part of the world. But Gad Saad, he's a author and a professor. Wrote, I believe he wrote a book, and I need to confirm that, but suicidal empathy. So his position is the same, is that we have, matter of fact, he says Gad Sad warns suicidal empathy is pushing the West toward collapse because, there's this movie out called Purge where for 24 hours anything goes. Well, we're not headed towards Purge. We're headed to a place where law enforcement. Remember when in our day long you go up to a law enforcement officer and you poke him in the face and you call him every name in the book, you're probably not going to walk away a free person. You're probably not. But now very few people have any problem talking to cops like that. And it's just unacceptable. But we've come to a place where empathy's taken over and we excuse anything and everything. And the last thing I think is say about this is that the church at large has done the same thing. And so now there's this branding or this labeling of churches that are so drunk on this stuff that they are what is called church of relativism, which means we'll morph as a church. We have our dogma, we have our ethos, or we have our Bible, and a- and in the 60s, 70s, 80s, the Bible, as it should be today, the Bible was the guiding post. But today, the church is morphing itself so as to absorb anybody that has anything that's contrary to what the Bible says. So we have transgender, we just right here in Dallas, we have a transgender church. We have pastors that are transgender. We have uh, countless other examples of churches that have just become so, what do you want to call it, moldable, that their Bible isn't anything like the Bible that
But you
I've
know
grown
what?
up by.
If that's what you want to be, then let you be that. That's what I say.
Yeah, the point of all that though is that you would say that to a point. You would not say, I don't think you would say that Luigi, if you had known what Luigi was planning before Luigi did it, you would say,
Oh no,
Luigi,
totally different
even
subjects. Yeah,
even yeah, but in the church, if the church if the church is gonna, it's not really a church. If it's a social environment where if you're just going to welcome everybody, Jesus welcomed everybody, but Jesus also said, "Go and sin no more," and you can't be doing that. Remember we talked about in the temple when Jesus was, excuse my expression, but pissed off that they were doing all this gambling and all this trading and all this disrespectful stuff. Imagine what Jesus was doing. The Bible describes it as he flipped tables, and I can picture Jesus really having lost his temper.
Righteous
Yeah.
indignation.
So I just want again to make everyone aware that America is drifting to a place of so much empathy that it's not empathy anymore.
Yeah, I was doing a little research for what we're going to be writing about in Substack next week, and about the left in Texas, and I was reading about Talarico and
Yeah.
things that he stands for. He's, I need to dig deeper, but what do you know about Christian nationalism?
Well, Christian national. When I wrote a column, and I've got a column coming about Talarico.
Do you talk about that in there?
Well, I don't talk about it, but when I wrote a column a few months ago about Talarico, and I just identified him as what I think he is, which frankly is a heretic in my opinion. I didn't use heretic in that one. I do have heretic in my next one. I was attacked as being a Christian nationalist, which means I think for me, well, I know for me, but I think the best way of saying it is that Christian nationalists believe that America should be the Judeo-Christian country that it was essentially built upon in terms of its our principles, and that if you like Talarico, who's got empathy, he said somebody asked him the other day, other than your family, who do you care most about? And I'm paraphrasing, but other than your family, who do you care most about? You know what he said? Trans kids. All right. So that's an example of what I think is suicidal empathy, because if you love if I love a transcript kid, I'm not gonna. It's like loving somebody who's got an addiction. I'm not gonna just feed them more drugs. I'm gonna try to stop it. I feel the same way about transgenderism. I feel this because I think there are more and more people going to come out saying what I did was awful for me. And, there's some now. There's a whole industry of
Reversals,
reversals.
yeah.
So I just think I I, I just this empathy stuff concerns me. And anyway, all right. I real quickly, I want to mention that I'm going to be writing what is going to be at least a 2-part series, maybe a 3-part series on Hannah Dillard. We're still in the appellate court process, and are hopeful to get in front of the judge to talk about how much corruption and unethical behavior has happened here in Ellis County. Until then, after having spoken with attorneys, I want to be sure that we don't do anything that's unintendedly harmful. But I'm going to be writing a series updating on everybody where we are, because it's been about a year since we did our first series. So more to come on that. I also I think I'm going to be talking to I may have told y'all this before, but the mother, if not the father too, of the 36-year-old man and his 5-year-old son were killed by that attorney going 95 miles an hour through Ferris. And the dude got probation by the same courthouse that gave Hannah 12 years for no fatality. So I hope to have an opportunity to talk with them as well. So if they're listening, or if those who know the family are listening, please, and I've been asked, would I be open to it? The answer is yes, and the sooner the better. So more to come on that. And of course, Heather Hansen is another story that we've been following that happened locally. So more to come.
I got one small tarnation still on the Vegas Golden Knights. They fired Bruce Cassidy
Mm-hmm.
with 8 games left in the season. They hired John Tortorella, who he was with the Rangers for 5, the
He's coached
Canucks
every
for
team in the
2,
league, hasn't he?
Columbus for 6, and Philly for 3. And here's his reputation. He comes in, he's a turnaround artist. And then his message wears thin. But it's bearing out this year in the playoffs, because
Yeah.
they're rolling through the playoffs, and but then I was so disappointed to read this. You know, if it's during the season, normally you have to get permission from another team. If you want to talk to a coach, you have to get permission
Yeah.
from that team. They fired him. He's out.
Yeah.
They don't give people permission to talk to him. That's terrible.
Yeah.
Number two, isn't it standard in all sports that the media is allowed in the locker room after the game? Okay. Sometimes we have a cooling down period. You can't come in right away. At one point, the media has to be allowed to come in. And after they won the end of the second round, they did not allow the media in to talk at all. And it was a fine of 100,000 for the team, and I believe 50 for the coach. And that's it.
Yeah,
Just a small deal.
Tortorella is an interesting guy, and he does wear out thin because he's militaristic.
Yeah,
I love his passion,
yeah,
and he knows what he's doing, and he's got these Vegas Golden Knights on a roll.
yeah.
I mean, they swept the best team in hockey. I mean,
Right.
and their coach Bednar said we just got rolled. I mean, Vegas is steamrolling. So anyway, I agree with you. I'm going to discuss Tuesday's voting results in Texas primarily, but across the country as well. To get us into it, let me just share this with you. This is music to my ears, and I hope maybe to most of your ears. The next Congress, which they will convene, I guess after the
Yeah.
January 1st, the next Congress will not have, are you ready? Al Green from Texas, the ponytail dude with the cane that screams all the time. Our friend Jasmine Crockett. Still would like to have you on our show, Jasmine, uh, from Texas. Dan Crenshaw got some iffy spots in the way he's carried on, so much to the point where I don't really big fan of Dan Crenshaw from Texas. He's out. Eric Swalwell from California, out. Mitch McConnell from Kentucky, out. Nancy Pelosi from California, out. Mitch and Nancy have I think over 100 years combined in the Senate, not Senate, well, Senate and House of Representatives politics. The only one on this list I don't know is this one, a guy named Don Bacon, Nebraska. Much like the others, the rhinos, out because I think he's a Republican. Jerry Nadler, our waddle, our penguin guy from New York. If you've never seen him, he's built like and he walks like and he acts like a penguin. Bill Cassidy, the dude who is just now lost a couple of weeks ago out of Louisiana. Thomas Massey just lost in Kentucky, and John Cornyn, Texas. So Trump, do you know that Trump, and I need to verify this, but I'm pretty sure it's accurate, had 119 races in which he endorsed on some level, on a national level, on a more local level. Because there are people he endorsed that we don't know. They're running for state legislature. We don't know him, but he's endorsed them. Brian Harrison likes to say that Trump endorsed him. That's a lie. Brian Harrison is a goof. Trump is never going to endorse him. Anyway,
I threw away. I put them up the other week. I threw away all of my political ads that come in TV, in the mail because so many of them are making endorsements that are false. And then I also noticed on last night's news, they're still running the John Cornyn
yeah,
ad,
they are.
and I'm thinking, well, what kind of media buyer is putting that? I mean,
I don't
why
think it's
would
the
you do
media
that?
buyer. I think it's the station. That's not the media buyer. That's a station. Based on my experience, that would be the station. Either somebody making a mistake, or it was done prior to the elections, or I don't know. But I saw the same thing. I'm like, this
Yeah,
is over. Why are
yeah.
you showing that? So out of 119 races that Trump endorsed, you know how many he won? Or not he, but that won.
Well, you gave a big list the other day, and he'd won them all at that point. So I don't know, 115.
Sammy, out of 119 races that Trump endorsed in this election season, how many
100,
of those people have won?
117.
119. He's clean, and so Vicky said, "Have we ever seen the movie Idiocracy?" I haven't seen it. I've heard about it. I do need to watch it. Thank you for sharing that, Vicky. But Trump's grip on the Republican Party is as tight and as strong as it's ever been. He's gotten people because of his endorsements, because of the candidates that have been chosen, because of the support they've been given, because of the strategies they have put together. They have knocked out people that have done, in my view, have contributed to this country being I don't know, played around with. And like guys like Thomas Massey, who comes across as a Rand Paul dude, say this for Rand Paul too. I don't know what world they're living in that makes them think or get so hung up on things that they don't let it die, like this Einstein thing. Is it Einstein or not Epstein? Is it Epstein or Epstein? Epstein. It's like Thomas Massey was just obsessed and fixated on Epstein, and to the point where he would do things that were counter to what Trump's agenda, to advance Trump's agenda, and look what's happened to him. So, and you could say that for Ollie Cornyn. Cornyn is a Mitch McConnell Jr. And so John Cornyn, I'm sure he's a fine man, but this guy's been in Congress or in the Senate for a long, long time, and they considered him for leader a few years ago when we ended up with Thune. But people said no, I want John Cornyn to be the Senate leader.
That 63 to 47% is a pretty big thumping
Yeah.
on a race that appeared to be pretty even.
Yeah.
And Cornyn has made conciliatory statements showing that he wants to support him. And that's what a good loser needs to do.
Well,
you need to be a party champion. And they're talking about also the importance of the Republicans winning that seat, because if Talarico wins, he's the next Democratic superstar.
Yeah. James Talarico, as I say in my column, is going to get his ass handed to him. Excuse my expression.
I agree.
And I think right now it's novel. It's the Beto. Beto's a cool name. We'll put aside. That's a good example of embracing or having too much empathy, is to put up with somebody like Beto O'Rourke or James Talarico. It's to say, we hate Trump so much and we hate the Republican Party so much that we're willing to let these guys be whatever they want to be. They can tell us that abortion's okay because Jesus hasn't ever mentioned it. They're six genders, blah, 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 blah. That's unacceptable. And I think the Republican machine, I'm certain the Republican machine is going to take care of James Talarico. And James Talarico is too arrogant to know what's coming his way, but it's coming his way. And Ken Paxton may not be the best candidate in the world, but Paxton is a bulldog. Cornyn was a rhino, as they say, and needed to go. So we'll see what happens. But my point is that there's a shift in America. And for those of us on the right, we embrace that shift. I mean, it's long in coming, but it's much, much needed. So we'll see how it impacts, as we get to the general. We'll see how these races turn out. All right, before we get to your rhyme, I want to have a little bit of fun real quick. So we were talking about baseball, and as we do in almost every show, and this is really, we talk about a lot of different things, and we like to be fluid and just share what's on our minds and our hearts. In this case, I want to share with you two things in baseball that I have never in my life seen. One of them is I think it's at the college level, and the other one is at the Little League 11-year-old level. You can tell me which one you want to start with, Sam. All right, so here's a play I've never seen before in my life in a baseball game within the past couple of weeks. Just watch this play, and you got to watch it close, because you're going to say, what happened? How does this happen? So go ahead and play it, Sam.
Vern will race around. He will score. But some concern out there for one of the league's best in Damon Keith, who's down. The baseball might be plugged in the grass. And that is the case. Michael Cross a bit confused. This is the first.
Watch.
Blake Burke, the first
They
baseman,
can't get the ball out of the field. It's in the field. It's in the ground.
This baseball. Damon Keith now giving it a go.
See, they're trying to
into
get
the
it out.
grass. And maybe that's what injured Keith, was that he landed on the baseball and it just
There. So
happens for
that's
him.
good, Sammy.
It's a hard
So
hit ball down the first.
the guy tries to make a play. He misses the ball. The ball gets under his hip, and he slides on top of it. The ball gets embedded, not like a plug in a sand trap per se, but almost into the ground so you can't even see the ball, and they can't get it out. I've never seen that happen, and I thought that was pretty hilarious. Now watch this. You talking about anything goes in America? So let me set this up. This is a kid that's been instructed by his coach to take the action you're about to see him take. These are 11 years old. I guess the game, like most of these games, the parents have just ruined it, and the coaches have ruined it. This is how long is it, Sam? All right, this is quick, but watch what this picture of this team does in this play. Oh my gosh. So those you can hear the very parents who created that environment in which a coach would tell his 11-year-old pitcher. Now, when Sammy was 11 years old, he pitched sometimes, and I could never, as his daddy, or even I couldn't even picture the coach telling Sammy to go out there and look. We don't like those players. This is so instead of pitching to the batter's up to little bitty boy. He's up to the plate. He's got the catcher and little bitty boy. He's got the umpire already. The pitcher's in his windup, and he throws the ball as fast as he can at the dugout. I've never in my life seen it and think it is insane. So there you have it. Just two things you can say that you never heard or found out about, except for the boys at GGN today. All right, Jeffrey, what do you got?
Well, I kind of messed up because I took a poem from 2020 and I chopped off 3 verses and put in 3 new verses,
Okay.
but I don't have those with me. But Sam has it on the screen. But I think I'm just going to forego that and do that next week because it's about the Stanley Cup and it'll still be fresh.
All right.
So let's go straight to today in history.
All right. What do you got? And how'd you do?
How'd I do? I knocked back a little 8 and 2.
Okay.
Thank God I had a couple of bonuses that brought me home. I hope you can do as well. And let's remind us that it's May 28th, Rita Ryan's birthday. It's the 148th day of the year, and we have 217 left. We're getting to the halfway mark.
Getting there, yep.
All right. President Andrew Jackson signed the Indian Removal Act, which forced nearly 50,000 Native Americans, primarily in the southeastern U.S., to move to designated territories west of the Mississippi. You know what they're saying there? That was the beginning of taking those people from those southern states and saying, but we have some nice reservation land
Yeah.
that we'll give you in Texas and Oklahoma and Missouri. And
Okay.
1825.
1805.
very solid, 1830.
Yes.
Yes. The 54th Massachusetts Volunteer Infantry Regiment, made up of free black men, left Boston to fight for the Union in the Civil War.
1861.
64.
63.
Mm.
Nice work. I was way off here. The Sierra Club was founded in San Francisco by naturalist John Muir.
1942.
1922.
1892.
Dang.
You know what the
Dang
Sierra
it.
Club is?
Yeah.
They advocate for all things natural and preserving of the land.
Hmm.
American troops fought their first major battle during World War I as they launched an offensive against a German-held French village of Cantigny. The Americans succeeded in capturing the village.
I don't remember when when World War One is. I'll go 1920.
1925.
1918. You're very sharp on
We
that
both
one.
got it.
Let's go. Only missed one so far.
The U.S. Army launched Able, A-B-L-E, a rhesus monkey, and Baker,
Rhesus.
a squirrel monkey, thank you, aboard a Jupiter mission for a suborbital flight, which both primates survived. This is before we went to outer space. We did suborbital.
I'll go 40.
I'll go 56.
59.
Booyah! I'm catching you, Sam. I'm 3-2.
Burglars working on half. This is I got the bonus. I expect you to, Tom, and I'd love it if you could, Sam. Burglars working on behalf of Nixon White House broke into the Democratic National Committee headquarters in the Watergate Hotel in Washington, D.C., installing surveillance devices on telephones and taking photos of DNC documents. The ensuing scandal led to President Richard Nixon's resignation in 1974. So he resigned in 74.
69.
72.
72 for the bonus.
Booyah!
He resigned in utter shame. 165 people were killed when fire raced through. Now get this name of this establishment and where it's located. They don't seem to add up. 165 people were killed when fire raced through the Beverly Hills Supper Club in Southgate, Kentucky.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, the swank place down there, huh?
1968.
1979.
77. Sam's
We're tied, Sam. What do you have?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 and 2.
Oh man, I'm 5 and 3.
Well,
I got the bonus. Are we done?
No, you can go.
Yeah.
6 and
Let's make this one worth 2 so I can win.
No revisionist rules here.
Okay.
In one of the biggest money laundering schemes in U.S. history, federal prosecutor charged 7 people with effectively running an online underworld bank, saying Liberty Reserve handled $6 billion for drug dealers, child pornographers, identity thieves, and other criminals worldwide. Its founder, Arthur Budovsky, Budovsky, was later convicted in the scheme and sentenced to 20 years in prison.
This is the last one.
2009.
2014.
13, you're both in.
Oh, well, worth
I beat
2.
you.
Yeah, you did.
I beat you.
I let you win.
Student surpasses teacher.
Oh, yeah.
I let you win so you would be inspired.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
inspired.
All right, so let me close the show out. Well, with our usual, is this BS or not? Are you ready? This is a sports one.
Try me emphasize.
All right. True or false? Walter Payton once threw a touchdown pass, caught a touchdown pass, and ran for a touchdown in the same game. True or false?
Go.
Threw for one, caught one, and ran for one.
Undoubtedly, yes.
True.
True. Only one other player has ever accomplished that feat, David Patton of the New England Patriots.
Walter
Pretty amazing. Huh?
Payton.
Isn't that they call
That's
that
insane.
hat trick, the Gordie Howe hat trick, a
Right.
fight, a goal, and I forget,
An assist.
and an assist.
Oh,
yeah. So there you have it. Our sponsor of Grit and Good News is Hoosier Custom Meats. Samuel put it up on the screen for you. We mention them every week because they raise all of their beef and then sell it. And it's great food, great family, wonderful people. They're in Italy, Texas. But if you're in search of something great for barbecue or for whatever, or when we get to the holidays, you need, for whatever reason, really, we highly recommend Hoosier Custom Meats and tell them the boys from GGN sent you. I believe that's it for me today. Thank you all for being here. We really appreciate it. We'll be back on Tuesday. I want to say a special hello and I love you to my mother-in-law and to my wife, and things will get better. But anyway, thank you for being here.
And Vicky Beasley, I'm sorry I wasn't talking louder. I wonder if I got away
Oh
from
Lord,
the mic.
Vicky, don't tell him to do
I
that.
hope I didn't get away from the mic. Maybe that's what
We'll
it
go
was.
deaf.
Have a great day and try to put a smile on somebody's face today.
Thank
Boom.
you. Thank you.